Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFL Fantasy Fanatics video on the channel. The first bye week is in the books, round 12 is done, and it was a bit of a chaotic week. Plenty of low scores, a couple of ceiling scores, which was nice to take the edge off, but a lot of people got stung this week. Some bad scores. And I had a couple of those bad scores as well, but all in all, not a bad week. 1803. That had a round rank, about 6575, so nice to have a 4-digit round rank, but also nice to have a 4-digit overall rank finally. So moved up 2,159 spots. Had a good start to the round. The first Thursday night, Friday night, and then the first game on the Saturday were quite good. Not having anyone from GWS against Richmond probably hurt a little bit, and then game on Saturday night was underwhelming from a fantasy perspective. Crows, good. Fantasy, not so good. And then two games today were a bit mixed. Some good scores, missed out on some big scores, and had a few bad scores as well. So, but yeah, not too bad. Moved up 2 spots, right? 4,digit rank is nice. We're on the way up. We've made 2 improvements after that obviously bad round 7 or whatever it was. So I've made a little bit of ground since then. Hopefully we can keep moving up in the buys and hopefully can get some good scores. Plus and minus 3 for the week. I will give it, obviously, a shout to a couple of players just before I give it to someone, because I said I'd lock it into someone. So, Shea Bolt 102, shout to him. Obviously, good score. Very, very happy with that. Baz is 147 as captain. Very, very harsh not to give it to him, and made it very hard. And even Nick Dacos with a 128, Ned Long 101. But I've got to give it to Nasai Wanganeen-Millerer. So, I said in a few group chats I'm actually in, I was just like, if he gets to a ton from here, I'm going to give him the +3 no matter what. And not only did he get to a ton, he got to a 117. He had what did he have in the end? So he had a 96-point second half. That is just ridiculous. He was just so good to watch. He had 15 touches in the last quarter, all kicks, 4 marks. He was brilliant. And 117. He was actually one. It's crazy that he missed essentially a whole quarter of football, and he was one of my top scorers. So the only people that went more than him was Nick Dacos, Bailey Smith as captain. That's it. Just those 2. Yeah, only those 2 scored more than Nasai, which is crazy. So, yeah, he was fantastic. It's a +3. -3, really just in general goes to the Adelaide and Sydney game. How many did I have? I had Bice, Roberts, Dawson, Rankin, and Warner. So 5 players, not 1 ton. And just some really bad scores. What was it? I believe Dawson Rots were the only 2 that went over 80, which is pretty bad. But really, the -3 goes to Riley Bice, like 9.5. He got subbed. I know he got subbed out, which obviously didn't help, right? But 9 points in 2 quarters? Like, are we serious? Like it doesn't matter. I was hoping to hold him for this week. He had Richmond, so I was like, that was pretty. But now I can't hold him now. Like, he's gone. Like, I'm not holding him anymore. Like, he's got to go. His break-even's up to 99. Just, he's got to go. Simple as that. And the decision, to be honest, might be made for us. There's a chance he's not in the Sydney team next week against Richmond because he was subbed at halftime. He wasn't involved much, but I think he's been not anywhere near their worst player. But yeah, Sydney are not in a good spot at the moment. So, yeah, I think he might make way. So I think that decision will be made regardless. Yeah, so that's +3. Let's get into the rest of the players. So as I said, Nasai was very good with a 117. Nick Martin got things kicked off on Thursday night. Very, very happy with that 116. I think he was on about 104, 102, something like that at 3/4 time. So quite last quarter, but 116. Hey, look, I'm very happy with that. That's the 3rd highest scoring player in my team, right? So pretty happy with that. Not too many ceiling scores in the team, but just solid enough anyway. There, Max Holmes 108. Happy with another ton from Max Holmes again. Again, a little bit like Nick Martin. He only had a 13-point last quarter, so he was on 95 at 3/4 time. Thought that was going to be a 120, 130, but quite last quarter. Rested forward a bit, particularly back half of last quarter. So, hey, end of the day, 108. Definitely happy with that. Matt Roberts, 98. Rested a lot of the game as well on the bench. He had like 71% game time. He's normally a pretty high 80%, low 90% game time guy most of the year. So got rested a bit, but still to get 98 in a bad loss, I'll take that for sure. Obviously, Bice with a 9, he's got to go. Matt Carroll, obviously he was on bye along with Buslinger, but whether both of them are there this week, obviously something else I'll be thinking about. Angus Clark, 42. Thought he played better than that 42 suggests. He actually got involved. He gave away a few free kicks. I think he gave away 3 in the end. So that could have easily been a 60, but instead he gets a 42. Brisbane at the Gabba is a very hard match. He gave away 2 free kicks, sorry. So it could have easily been a mid-50 score. He'll have better matchups than that Brisbane game. I think he has got Carlton, I believe. So that's a better matchup. I think he'll go better there. And again, I think he's not going anywhere in that Essendon team. They've got injuries, but also I think he's performed pretty well out in that wing. So I think he's there to stay for at least a few weeks. Moving to the midfield, Bailey Smith. I can't say really anything much more than he's just an absolute gun. 147. He was on 89 at half time. So he still ended up scoring, 58 points the second half, and I thought he was quiet, and he scored a 58 in the second half. He's up to, 1.196 million. He's averaging 122.5 for the season. The next highest averaging player is Max Gawn at 115. Then you got Dawson, 111.8. Prestia, 111 for one game. Then Whitfield, 109.7. They're the only 4 players averaging essentially 110, because I'm not counting Prestia, obviously, from one game. He's just he's a lot clearer than anyone else. So he's just a gun. I think he's pretty much locked for a captain or a vice captain every week, just the way he's performing. I just don't know how he's going to be stopped, to be honest. He's just a gun. And we've all got him. And I think, said on the pod with Jordy last night, I feel like we didn't take him all for granted because we knew he was going to be good. We knew he was going to be highly owned, but we didn't think he was going to be this good, right? He's a gun. And can't really say much more. And he's in the hunt for the Brownlow along with Jordan Dawson, who, a bit of a quieter game for him. Again, a lot of the coach and stuff said that Dawson still played well enough, just didn't have the tackles. He only had the 3 tackles. He's normally a guy that gets, he hadn't gone below 6 tackles since round 1. He'd had at least 6 tackles in every game. He only had 3 in that game, and if he had his normal 6, it would have been a 98. So, not awful. 86. He'll respond. Brisbane at home. Obviously, it's a big game. Captain at home. I think he'll have a better game. So, I'm sure he'll bounce back, and he's been very good this year. Anyway, Andrew Brayshaw, 113. Yeah, good score. Obviously, in the wet as well. Still took 3 marks, which is at least good to see. But hasn't been a huge mark guy this year, obviously, with Freo's game style. But still happy with the 113. Nick Dacos, 128. Very happy with that. 2 scores now, 129, 128 in a row. He's responded after a couple of low ones since owning him. So, very happy with Nick Dacos there. Obviously, Finn O'Sullivan's sitting there because when Cleary was sub, I traded Cleary over Carroll, which I didn't want to do. But obviously, when Cleary was sub, I had to just to save the cash, right? So, that's why Foss is there, because Warner was there. So, if people are going, they're not in order, that's why. Ned Long, though, 101. Yeah, what a save that was. 24 at halftime, got to 101, 77 point second half. I was thinking at halftime, I thought, you know what? Ned Long might have to go. Might have to go next week or even at his bye. But he came out and smashed it. Back-to-back tons for him. Up to 833k. Break even is still 55. So he went up 42k this week. He is honestly a candidate that I may hold him at his bye. There's a chance I trade him next week. Like maybe him to like a Butters coming off the Bedford tag is something I look at doing. But there is a chance I'll hold him past his bye, which is not something I thought I'd be saying a few weeks ago. But he is he's getting up to a really nice. Well, he's up at a very nice price already, and he's not going to be too far away from straight swapping to a Butters or something like that in a week's time. So very happy with him. Xavier Lindsay, 58. This score looked like it probably could have been a bit worse. Melbourne didn't play great. Melbourne did ignore him a lot for a lot of these +6s. He's someone that could go for me this week. Just obviously, I don't have a lot of people on buy that I'd get rid of. But he, with the 58, he only went up 10k. Collingwood, then Port Adelaide. They're not really necessarily great matchups. So he may be someone that goes when I talk about my trade plans a little bit later on. Hugh Boxall, 30, 49% game time. I really don't know what the point of playing him for 49% game time was. He scored more as a sub last week in just over a quarter, and he had over half the game time that he had in just over a quarter than what he had for a full game today. I don't know why they do rotations like that. Doesn't make any sense to me, but in the day, it is what it is. Obviously, Hasty didn't play, and then Rosie was on bye as well. Marshall, 92. That's okay. 92 against Gawn. I'll take it. Gave away 4 free kicks. He's been giving away a lot of free kicks this year, Marshall, so that's something I'd like him to fix if he can. But Gawn, tough matchup. Had Wits the week before. I think he'll go a lot better post-bye, and he's looking in pretty good form, and he'll have the week off this week, but he'll come back and hopefully a good score. Obviously, Boyd as well didn't play. Big X obviously was on bye, but good to have him back this week. Then the forward line was pretty disappointing as a whole, really, besides Bolton. So Petrarca 75, kicked 2 goals in that. I would have expected probably a little bit more. The fact that Kyle Lohman was my second highest scoring forward is saying something, just with the poor performances here. But yeah, 75 Petrarca isn't great, but he's still top 6. I'm still confident he'll bounce back. Isaac Rankin 63. Really, after he kicked the first goal, didn't see him a great deal, which is disappointing. I thought him and Dawson, particularly with the way that Adelaide won, I thought they would have racked up, but they really didn't. It was a pretty weird fantasy game. So he'll bounce back, right? But obviously poor score from him. Levi 57, obviously subbed out. Bit of management there, obviously off of a shorter break. But I think he can go as early as this week. He went down 10 Ks, break even's now up to I believe it's 96. So it's up there now. He's not going to make really any more cash unless he goes like a 120, 130. And he's got his buy obviously in a few weeks. So I think he can go as early as this week, and he's someone that potentially could be in my trade plans this week. Shea Bolton 102. He was someone that was in my trade plans this week, but I think I'm holding him now. He went up 32k this week. He's up to 779. He's still got a break even of 54. And okay, he went a 67 last week, but he went a 119 and 97 before that. So his last month has been really strong, but he's got North Melbourne, Essendon, and St Kilda after his bye. So he's someone that I'm still probably happy to trade maybe after. But the way he's been going, I feel like I can potentially hold him. But he's someone that could still go. I'm not locked into keeping him yet. It might be one of Levi or Bolton that goes this week. At the moment, I'll probably lean towards Levi, but it might be Bolton still. I don't know. I'm sort of just wondering, I'm like, well, if I hold Bolton, do I need to keep him for the whole time? Or can I maybe trade him around 15 or 16, right? So, because I'll go through my trade plans after, but yeah, that might explain a bit why. Caleb Daniel, held him. Traded Lohman instead. So I'm happy that I held Daniel over Marek. I said Lohman, sorry. I meant I held Caleb Daniel over Marek. So yeah, pretty happy with that. We'll see how Caleb Daniel goes now, and hopefully he can put up some good scores. Obviously brought in Warner. 74 wasn't great. It's annoying when you obviously bring a player in because it suits your buy structure better, which is Warner was the perfect player for my buy structure. The only Premier forward with around 14 buy. I only had Nick Dacos and Matt Roberts on that buy. And yeah, put up a 74. And I probably like the likes of Sinclair better, maybe even Noah Anderson better. But 74 wasn't great. 3 behind. Sydney were bad. We got Richmond this week. I expect a response from Warner, particularly Warner and Heaney. I think they could actually go really well this week. So if he can go big this week, it'll make up for the low score here, even though I lost my Content Crowds Cup to Louis by 31 points. So if I went for Sinclair, I would have won. Lohman 79, very happy with that. First game up, 3 goals as well. First goal of the year as well that he kicked finally as well. Made some good cash. His break-even's now pretty low. His break-even sits at 8. So he'll make some good cash there at F7. And I can trade him on his buy and make a bit of cash from him. So, yeah, very, very happy with his first game up. Connorstone obviously didn't play. I'm hopeful that he maybe gets a game at some point soon, but I'm probably more hopeful than what I think will happen. And then Harry Shees obviously was on buy as well, so he'll come back in this week. So that's how we ended up for the round. Don't know what it says. I haven't got a captain on there. Emergency. Sorry, yeah, I don't have 4 emergencies on. But yeah, in terms of my trade plans for this week, obviously I've just done them. I'm recording this late Sunday night, obviously late game. I haven't had a huge amount of time to look at trades, but the trades I just pretty much did pretty quickly. So ended up because I had 300 and how much was it? I'm trying to have a look. 354k. I had about 260, but trading Cleary out over Carrollman, I had an extra 90. So 354 is really handy this week. So looking at going potentially Levi Ashcroft slightly down to Miles Bergman. I like Bergman's run. He obviously doesn't have a buy. The trade that's pretty much locked in is Bice to Hardiman. I'm really keen on Hardiman. Low break even. A couple of good matchups, and he'll be my final upgrade in like round 17. So I'm happy to bring him in. Gets about 102k. Obviously, as I said, potentially Levi down to a Bergman. I could also go Bolton to Bergman if I wanted to. But then I'm looking at going Lindsay up to Marcus Bontempelli. And I'll have about 50k in the bank still after those trades, making a big upgrade there. Whether I do that or not, obviously I've got lower team value than most. So do I have to maybe settle for someone a little bit cheaper? That's what I like, maybe a Walsh. I think he'll turn it around. Maybe Bailey Dale's got a good run coming up, but I don't know if I really necessarily need a defender. Or do I just bring in a Bergman for maybe some real bad rookies, and then maybe just bring in Hardeman at the same time and get some more cash ready for next week to maybe make some more upgrades. But at the moment, it is those trades, and I'll do a bit of thinking and see what I end up doing with trades this week. But that's how we went. Not a bad week, and we hopefully can keep going and keep the momentum going throughout the buys. But yeah, anyway, let me know in the comments below, guys, how you guys went in round 12. Let me know your plus and minus threes, your score, your round rank, your overall rank, and any question you guys have. Put them in the comments, and hopefully I can get to a couple of those questions throughout the week. But if you do want a guaranteed answer, because I can't always get to the comments here, Instagram messages, Twitter messages, anything like that. If you do want a guaranteed answer, head to our Patreon, patreon.com/AFL Fantasy Fanatics. Exclusive Patreon Q&As every week on the Wednesday night, and they are released on the Wednesday or the Thursday. So if you'd like to get involved in those, every Patreon member gets a team review each week through the Ask Me On Q service, which Patreon members do also get that for free. Then yeah, you can get all of that plus a heap more by heading to our Patreon. Link is in the description, or patreon.com/AFL Fantasy Fanatics, or you can head to AskMeOnQ, spelled QU.com/AFL Fantasy Fanatics, and get your full team review there and all your questions answered there as well. And yeah, links to both those are in the description. So we're back tomorrow night for our normal Q&A, Tuesday night Q&A, 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Perth time, answering all your questions. I think Guesty and Jordox will be back on. Obviously, Jordy will be on deck as well. I think we'll have a special guest jumping on with us as well, which we're excited to chat to him as well. So looking forward to that. But yeah, if you haven't already, smash a like on the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are only 102 subscribers away from our big goal of 4,000. So if you can help us reach that goal, that would be absolutely fantastic. You guys have smashed it all year, and we're only halfway through. So I appreciate everyone's support so far and continued support every single week. And yeah, very much appreciate it. So yeah, we're back tomorrow night for our Q&A. So we'll catch you guys then, and have a good night. See ya.